Stop quitting before the miracles happen. You know, there's a difference between what you say you want and what you say that you intend to have. One is desire, and the other is it will happen. When we set our intention, we're willing to go to any lengths for it to happen. We're willing to become a better or an even upgraded version of ourselves, to take with us the best of who we are and leave the rest behind. Are you willing to go to any lengths? I wasn't 40 years ago, and I learned in codependency recovery that I would need to be willing to go to any lengths so what I intended for myself would occur. Some 35 plus years ago, that meant eliminating everything that was non-essential from my life and focusing on my recovery from codependency, or else I was going to die. I went from no recovery work to 9 meetings a week for my first year. I learned that half measures availed us nothing. Not half results, but nothing, no results. And that if I wanted to experience the miracles that recovery offers, I needed to be all in, 100%. The recovery I'm talking about is the recovery from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I created an episode on that very topic, and if you haven't listened, it's episode 63. So, have you been all in on anything in your life? This may have been the first significant time for me. Yes, I worked hard on other things in my lifetime, but to dedicate myself with a powerful, intentional focus on healing from my codependent ways of living was a first for being all in. And the second time I was all in and willing to go to any length for what I intended was with the development of my executive function skills. Around 52, I experienced significant cognitive changes during perimenopause and then menopause, and I felt like I had an alien brain. None of the strategies or the skills that I had previously developed were working for me. I was different, and not in a good way. In a sense, the bottom fell out, and I intended to rebuild my executive function skills in a new way, methodically, intentionally, and in such a way that they would change my life forever. And that's what I did. I stayed the course, and I didn't quit on myself. And as I had quit on things in the past, not this time. It was too important. And what about you? Are you a quitter?
Welcome to the Living Beyond ADHD podcast. If you're looking for a fresh perspective and actionable steps on hot topics from focus to follow-through to self-management and more, you are in the right place. Welcome your host, innovative educator, coach, and psychotherapist, Dr. B.
Being a quitter won't bring you success or happiness. Instead, it'll bring you more disappointment, self-loathing, despair, and a lot of regret. To get yourself to quit being a quitter, you need to understand your quitting habit. Yes, it's a habit, and habits have cues or triggers. Task too difficult? Quit. Missing information about the task? Quit. Don't feel like starting or finishing? Quit. Taking too long? Quit. These are only a few of the many reasons that people quit. Most people quit when they hit an obstacle. Years ago, I created a life rule for myself about closing all exits when I commit to something and go after it. No exits, no escapes. And I keep my word to myself, and I honor the rule so I don't quit. By not quitting or even considering it, I keep myself in solution-oriented thinking. If I didn't create this life rule and uphold it, I would have set myself up for failure many, many times. I would have given myself an out for everything that became difficult or deeply personal or humbling. When the heat gets turned up, I don't turn and run because I eliminated that option for myself at the start. How many of you quit when things get too difficult for you? Is changing for the better something to bail on before you even get started? Are you someone who says you really want to change and you really need to change? I know that many of you say that because these are some of the messages I receive when people put themselves on the information list to learn about the Adventures in Achievement Foundation Skills Program. On the form, I asked the question, tell me about your executive function challenges and why you need to change now. Many of you share openly with me about what's going on in your life and why you need to change at this time. What's interesting is that, like you, I used to say that I needed to change and the reasons why I needed to change, but that didn't motivate me to take action and change. And I see that with so many of you, that's true as well. Instead of needing to change, we must intend to change. That implies that we will do whatever it takes to change ourselves from the inside out for the better. This includes reading emails that you receive that contain the information you requested about the program, since you said you needed help to make changes now. And I get it. I'm not criticizing or picking on anyone. No one. Just talking about something I observe because it's really familiar to me. It's a double bind when we reach out for help, take the time to complete the form, and share our challenges so that we're going to receive information about the help available to us, and then don't read about or act on that information, and hence we don't get the help that's available to us. It's a vicious cycle, and it happens frequently with important and less important things. Most people quit way too early. They won't do the work. We have gotten used to wanting things to be easy or handed to us, and life just isn't like that. Jim Rohn said, for things to change, you have to change. He also said, I can't do your push-ups for you. You have to do them to get the results. We have to do the life work to get the results. And as some of my students are sharing, not even all of the life work. You just need to be consistent in your engagement with the work, and even 15 minutes a day will give you miracles. How hard is 15 minutes a day? Seriously. You don't have to wait for your miracles. They're waiting for you. And you can start right now. Being a gifted underachiever is a tough way to live. Believe me, I know. Tons of limiting beliefs, an identity that keeps you locked into the past. Are you afraid to do the work that'll set you free and unlock the prison of your own making? Many of my students were afraid when they started. They were. And they are doing the work in spite of their fears, because of the enormous amount of support they receive from me and their fellow students. It's good to know that others are also afraid and that they are stepping forward even while they're afraid. And it's amazing how fears fade away when we do this. You are 100% responsible for 100% of the outcomes in your life. I learned that if it is to be, it's up to me. I developed the willingness to go the distance, to do whatever it would take to reach my destination. Are you going to make it happen for you by setting your intention and allowing the process and the structure of the program to carry you to your amazing outcomes? Or are you going to quit when you hit an obstacle? Obstacles aren't hard to move beyond if we don't run away from them. If we study them, we can see a way around them and get through. However, this is when most people quit because they can't figure it out right away. Things can be figured out if you don't run. I learned this even with my agoraphobia from years and years ago. I didn't run. I stayed put. I figured it out, and I moved beyond it. Do you have the courage to be an empowered achiever? Yes, the courage. Many adults want to be the empowered achiever, but they don't have the courage to face themselves as they are today and grow from there, whatever there is. So many adults are in a hurry and want to get quick fixes that don't last. They just don't. As a gifted underachiever, we have accumulated a lot of disempowering stuff, and we need to challenge and shed it to make room for the empowering stuff that we want to live as an expression of our authentic self. And if we didn't have years and years of this disempowering stuff, we could just learn new skills and strategies and move on from there. However, to do so would be bringing in the new and laying it on top of the poisonous old stuff that would eventually destroy our foundation for a successful, happy, and healthy life. Be intentional about what you bring into your life. Be 100% responsible for what you bring into your life. And what if everything that's coming into your life is happening for you instead of to you? I found this concept challenging in the beginning until I accepted that life lessons that I've experienced are what I needed in order to learn what I needed to learn. Everything is, always has been, and always will be just fine. Things have a way of working out, not necessarily the way I planned or you planned or we envisioned. However, they have worked themselves out. They always do. Think back to a time in the past when you were doing something and you quit. You quit because you hit a wall or couldn't figure it out, but you quit. If you had stayed 100% committed and responsible, you would have figured it out with or without the help of others. Being responsible is being response-able, able to respond. And we are always able to respond in some way or another. Quitting is a response. It's a response to stop and escape the situation. What we learn from allowing ourselves to have escapes or exits is that quitting puts an immediate end to the suffering that is self-inflicted. Doesn't solve anything. We're suffering because what we choose as our solution is escape, and that escape results in regret. We live from circumstances, not commitments. When we live from commitments, we get things done, even if they're challenging or difficult. No exit, no excuse, no escape. We stay put, we get it done. Excuses let us off the hook and feel better temporarily. After all, how could anyone expect us to do X when A, B, and C happened? It wasn't our fault. We're not to blame. It was the fault of A, B, and C. Not true. If we live from commitment, then even when the unexpected happens, we still keep our commitments, even if the how we keep them changes a little bit. This is living an honorable and a winning life. And speaking of a winning life, what's it going to be for you today? You have shifted from needing to intending. That's wonderful. You intend to be all in on whatever you commit to. That's awesome. You stay focused on speaking positives to yourself so you can plant positive seeds for your mental garden. That's fantastic. Each one of these wins deserves your full-hearted celebrating. Yes, wow, awesome. I know you all have wins, big and small, and I am hopeful that you are celebrating them all every day. How much time do we have? Not much. So let's get to it.
This podcast is sponsored by Pure Potential with Dr. B. You can head over to drbarbaracohen.com and find the podcast episodes and transcripts. Great free content, plus information on programs and products, including the groundbreaking online Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills Training and Coaching Program. You can also learn about Dr. B's masterclasses on decision-making, time management, and banishing procrastination. That's drbarbaracohen.com.
Are you too distracted to get help for yourself? Too distracted to make a commitment to yourself and follow through on it? Yeah, there's a bit of irony here with this. Are you reinforcing yourself to stay stuck or trapped in your current situation? Are you focused on trying to figure out how to get unstuck, and therefore being stuck is top of mind all the time? Have you ever focused on creating what you want instead of remodeling what you don't want? What did you grow up seeing about commitments and follow through? What did you learn about yourself from your earlier years about your own ability to make a commitment and follow through? I ask this because we often model what was modeled for us. And if that isn't a successful strategy, then we won't be successful with it either. Remember, for things to change, we have to change. Change the strategies we use, change the way we think about things, change who we are being from the inside out. And all of these changes don't have to be any more difficult than you make them, because they really aren't that difficult. Every day I watch my students making these changes and reaping the benefits. And I love to hear or read their delight in how they're able to change in such significant ways and what a difference it's making in the quality of their life. I'd love for you to experience that as well. Are you resourceful when you want something badly enough? Or do you quit on yourself? Do you tell yourself that it just can't happen for you? I remember doing that, and I hope you don't. If something is important enough to you or me, we have to figure it out. Yes, there might be obstacles that we encounter, but if it's that important, we will find a way. And if it isn't, we won't. We will just do what it is that we've done before, which is quit. When something was really important to me and I knew that it was what I needed, I had to change or elevate myself in whatever ways were necessary to get where I needed to be. This happened when I was living in Seattle, Washington in the late 70s. I moved there from California. I was working in the construction industry, and then the bottom fell out of construction, and our entire department was laid off. Not something I expected when I moved there, and I decided that coming back to California would be best for me. But how? I got resourceful. I made a list of all the skills that I had that I could put to use that would support me and create the revenue I needed to move back to California. There was no ego attached to anything on my list. It was just a means to my outcome. I had two best options and got busy with both. I started a sewing business that I named Sunshine Stitchery because it made me think of sunny California. And I went to work for a woman who had a business cleaning custom homes. I was skilled in both, and the hours integrated well to make it possible to do both. And within 6 months, I had the funds to return to sunny California and start my life again. I got my outcome because I was willing to do what I needed to do. I was all in and intentional. I closed all exits, and I focused on what was in front of me so I could do the next right things. What about you? Can you think of at least one situation where this was how you handled it? And did the experience and outcome mean so much more to you because of the intentional effort you put forth? I'd love to know, and I hope it did. Do you have the life you want for yourself? Do you have the executive function skills and strategies to step into that life for yourself? I'm imagining that you don't, especially if you submitted the information list form to me. Years ago, I read a book entitled Right Use of Will. And no, it wasn't about willpower. It was about the use of your personal power. And most of you are unaware of how much personal power you actually have. And because of that, you quit before the miracles happen for you. Once you learn how to tap into your personal power from within, your life changes forever. That is, if you choose to tap into your personal power and utilize it for your highest good. Years ago, I watched a movie entitled Music Within. It's based on the true story of Richard Pimentel, a brilliant public speaker with a troubled past who returns from Vietnam deafened and finds a new purpose in his landmark efforts on behalf of Americans with disabilities. He became an American disability rights advocate and developed the training materials aimed to help employers integrate people with disabilities into the workplace. He changed the course of history. If you want to release being the gifted underachiever to embrace being the empowered achiever, you have limiting beliefs to release, outdated identities to upgrade, pre-skills to learn, and executive function skills to develop. This is true whether your current status is due to ADHD, traumatic experiences, depression, anxiety, addictions, chronic illnesses, or something else. This is a prison of your own making, and only you can design and move into the life that you desire. Others have done it, and so can you. in as little as 15 minutes a day, or more if you're enjoying the process, which I trust you will. If you're waiting for the right time, it doesn't exist. We make the right time rather than wait for it to arrive. Waiting leaves your life to chance rather than intentional transformation. Have you taken the first step in transformation, which is awareness? Awareness of the development of your executive function skill. You can by claiming your free copy of 13 Signs Weak Executive Functioning is holding you back, and then actually reading and scoring the PDF that you receive. How did you do? 13 out of 13, 11 out of 13, 6 out of 13. I know how bad things are for you if you scored 13 out of 13. And even if you scored 6 out of 13, depending on which 6 and how critical they are for your day-to-day life, I know how difficult your life is. The second step in your transformation is deciding what you want to do with your awareness. You can be aware and do nothing, or you can be aware and intend to change your life. This is your decision to make. If you're aware and you do nothing, things will stay the same or maybe even get worse. If you're aware and you act on your intention to change your life, you will be amazed at how wonderful life can be. The decision is yours. And each day that you choose to stay where you are and the way that you are is another day lost to you. Whether you want to start a business, build up the one you already have, pursue a promotion in your company, get married, start a family, organize your home to your satisfaction, you need these skills and strategies to succeed. The third step in your transformation is to see your life with clarity so that the decisions you make are good decisions for you and that you know that they're good decisions for you when you make them, not months or years down the line. Again, this is a skill that you can develop. Perception is key to your outcomes, and so are meanings. You are the meaning maker of your life, and you decide what everything means. Nothing comes with a meaning, nothing. If justice is winning a legal battle and you're seeking justice, then you would need to win the battle, the legal battle, to feel that justice was served. And if you don't win, then you would feel that justice wasn't served. Or you could reframe your belief so that you don't trap yourself into needing one outcome, and without it, you're stuck. We all create our own reality, and our reality is based on our perception. Once you have the skills and strategies to do so, you have the power to change the meanings that you've given to all of your experiences and let yourself out of your self-imposed prison. No two people develop their executive function skills the same way. I've come to know this over the years of training and coaching in the Adventures in Achievement Foundation Skills Program. The skill is the same, yet the approach is different depending on the needs of the person. This is why an abundant and timely support structure is so important and is there. One takeaway message that I'd love you to get from this episode is that whether it's ADHD or something else that has derailed the development of your executive function skills, you need to develop these executive function skills. And the fastest, most effective way is to join a reputable training program with an expert coach and trainer. You don't know what you don't know. If you really want to leap ahead to the next level of performance, you need to work with someone who has the knowledge, training, experience, and the knowing to provide the full package for your transformation. If you're dreaming of executive function skills, and who doesn't wish that they were more organized and capable in their daily life, perhaps now is the time to go beyond dreaming. If you want to develop better executive functioning in a proven training program that'll elevate your skills quicker than any other, I encourage you to check out the Adventures in Achievement Foundation Skills Program. It's 7 months of incredibly effective, in-depth training and coaching that'll empower you to turn your untapped gifts into your most valuable assets. You'll finally have the opportunity to realize your potential because your limiting beliefs, outdated identities, missing pre-skills, and underdeveloped executive function skills won't be undermining your best efforts anymore. You'll be the one who can manage your time and responsibilities at work and at home with greater ease and a lot less chaos. And in case you are a show me kind of person, meaning that you want proof, I've been gathering the proof for over 5 years now. As a previous international researcher, a part of me is data-driven and wants the proof to show that what we're doing is yielding the results I say are happening and that it's not just an opinion. The data is solid and real transformation is happening. When you engage with the program, it changes you from the inside out. So please slow down and become a student of your own life. Understand what you need to succeed with a multifaceted brain that you have. Take action on what you learn about yourself, because this is the life work that lies ahead of you if this is your time. You came to this lifetime with an empowering gift or gifts, and I would love it if each and every person on this planet were able to express his or her unique, empowering gifts freely without the threat of being shamed or criticized or worse. Let's put an end to that stigma once and for all and live as empowered achievers, all of us. A favorite quote of mine from the movie Music Within. Richard Pimentel said, "The differences you make, the ones of lasting importance, are the little differences you make in the life of another person." I love this quote because it resonates with my life purpose, to make a positive difference in the lives of at least 1 million people in my lifetime. And that's happening because of my podcast show and my programs. When each of you shares this show, you are helping me to achieve my life's purpose, as well as helping yourself and another person. Everyone wins, and that's a great way to live. If you want more of me, Dr. B, here's some ways that you can have more of me. And you'll find these in the show notes as well. If you're seeking the transformation of your life that you never knew was possible for you, the time is now and it's running out. The Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills Program is open for enrollment just until midnight, June 23rd, and the program officially starts on June 27th. You need these skills to succeed in life, and if you intend on succeeding, then you can get started right away. Links in the show notes. My signature transformational training and coaching program is designed to get you unstuck by training you to release your limiting beliefs and outdated identity, not just tell you about it, to build a strong foundation of your pre-skills and to develop your core executive function skills, these life skills, not just tell you about them, but be by your side so you develop them. You'll be tapping into your subconscious mind so you can reach a new level of success in your life and free yourself from what's been holding you back. This is an exclusive experience for those of you serious about transforming your life. Enrollment again closes on the 23rd of June at midnight. And within 24 to 48 hours of your enrollment, you will receive your executive function assessment, which most likely you've never had. And you'll be emailing me your 2 pages typed up, maximum that is, getting to know me information. And once I receive the results of your executive function assessment, which comes to me right away, and your 2 pages, I'll be recording a personalized video for you explaining the results of your executive function assessment in light of your 2 pages of information. If you miss the deadline of the 23rd at midnight, be sure to get on the executive function information list so that you receive information about the program, and the link is in the show notes. If you want a general sense of how underdeveloped your executive function skills are, be sure to grab a copy of the free PDF, 13 Signs Weak Executive Functioning is Holding You Back. Link is in the show notes. And if you're looking for an adult support group as a listener to my podcast, you can join the Living Beyond ADHD Facebook support group. Link is in the show notes. Be sure that you answer the couple of questions that we ask of you so you can be approved into the group. Otherwise, we can't. Thanks for understanding. I encourage you to subscribe to this podcast and even review it in Apple Podcasts. If you found value in this episode, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. Our mission is to help as many people as possible to transform their lives. And when you leave a positive review, more people can find this podcast. So click on the link in the show notes, select ratings and review, and write a review and tell me, what is your favorite part of the podcast episode or any other episode you've listened to? I'm grateful if you choose to do that. So, if you are seriously ready to stop your needless suffering, I look forward to seeing you inside the program. Be sure you check out the show notes for the links and the opportunities that I've talked about that are available to you. There are real solutions, not Band-Aids, to the challenges that you're experiencing, and they are available now. Time is our most precious asset, and none of us has time to waste on solutions that just don't work. I would love to help you realize a new freedom. That is, if that's of serious interest to you. Thanks for listening. Until the next time, bye for now.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you're eager to make positive changes in your life and stop overwhelm and confusion from derailing you, head over to drbarbaracohen.com and see how Dr. B can help you today. Whether you love learning in an online group environment with personalized coaching or prefer the pace of guided self-study, Dr. B offers the skills, strategies, and individual support you need. Get started on your journey today by visiting the website at drbarbercohen.com.